Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Checklist on a Wednesday, the show all about stories, shared experiences, and us laughing about times we've been terrible at games. But not this week. This week it's all about how brave we've been, what with side-scrolling underwater puzzler Silt encouraging us to face that primal human fear of the mysterious ocean deep. So, here are 5 times we've been really courageous actually and faced our gaming fears. I'm up first, talking about a character that haunted me for years.
So a time that I faced my fears was, well, I didn't do it off my own back because I would never do such a thing. I was forced to face this fear, and it was a fear that had been building for 2 years, maybe even more at the time. And it was you, Ash, who forced me to face this fear.
Yay!
And that fear was Marguerite.
Yeah, you handled her really well,
Resident
though, I thought.
Evil 7. Yes, I did. Horrible. She's so horrible. The first time Marguerite got in my brain was actually at E3, the year before Resident Evil 7 was released. And I think I've told this story before, where even in like a brightly lit E3 booth, loads of people milling around, I played the section of the game that is like the videotape of Mia, basically, that you play quite early on in the game, where you just have to evade Marguerite. Like you're defenseless. You have to get to a place, you have to solve the little shadow puzzle and make a spider picture with the shadows. And she's just hunting you down the entire time. And you look at her, she's not massively physically intimidating. She's like a hunched old woman with a lantern, but she's so terrifying. So terrifying. And she just got in my head. She really got in my head, just having played it at E3 that time. And when the game finally came out, I was really enjoying it, even though I was very, very scared by everything that was going on. Like, it was incredibly atmospheric. At the time, like a real sort of shake-up of the Resident Evil formula. No, it was first person for the first time. It felt incredible to play. And I got to the bit where the videotape was, and I knew that Marguerite was coming, and I saw her come out of her little caravan with her lantern, and that was where I stopped playing Resident Evil 7. Like, yeah. I didn't continue because I just couldn't face Marguerite, and you made me face her, Ash, on the Halloween live streams.
Yeah.
Not only that, but in VR as well.
Yeah.
I had to face her in VR, and I would never have done it otherwise, but I'm glad I've done it now.
Do you feel stronger and better for it?
No.
Do you feel a different person?
No. I feel relief. It's just the main thing I feel is relief.
She can't be used against you anymore.
She can't be used against me again, and it's done now. I've seen all of the worst that Marguerite can throw at me, and it turns out the worst she can throw at you is turning into a horrible, horrible spy. That jump scare where you're going up the stairs and she just bursts out the window.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And she's like started changing, so her limbs are all elongated. The long arms is what gets me. I know she's got like a massive spider belly full of horror, but like it's literally just her long forearms that upset me the most in that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's the speed of the movement as well. The speed of the movement is just really unsettling. It's a classic thing, isn't it? Spiders moving fast, scary. But when the spider has like a horrible old woman's face attached to it, and she's saying horrible things like "I'm gonna kill you," and worse, and worse than that. And it's just nasty. She just doesn't die either. Yeah, pumping shotgun rounds into a horrible squelchy spider sack that's her weak point, and she's just. Oh, you're just in this arena, you don't know where she is, you can hear scuttling sounds as she's clambering up on the walls, and in VR you're like, oh, where is she? It's, very well made, exquisitely made survival horror, absolutely. I don't even know how I got through it really, I had to. I only face my fears if I have to face them. I was forced to face that fear, I faced it, I won. I'm very relieved that I never have to see Marguerite's horrible face ever again. Apart from in my dreams sometimes.
Oh, God. So in thinking about this title, I have discovered I have a lot of fears. This may be a surprise to nobody. If you've ever watched the channel, then you're probably aware that I'm quite scared of horror games, and they tend to just be made up of lots of sub-fears, all of which actually I'm not a big fan of. You know,
really?
The fear of spiders, the fear of being alone, the fear of the dark, the fear of monsters, the fear of death, the fear of life. I'm mostly just quite scared. Video games have a lot of other fears that they trigger in me, I have realised. One of them is the fear of making the wrong choice. I am terrible for worrying about making the wrong choice when I am playing video games. Actually, just in my life.
In life.
We've spoken before on the podcast actually about my difficulties playing role-playing games because I end up just role-playing as me. My interpretation of role-playing games is that they should be playing, you know, something I could never be. I hate getting a new, big, open world game and getting the first skill point and seeing a big blank skill tree that says, where are you going to put that skill? And I'm like, I don't know.
You've got 12 different trees.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Are
you going to be?
Would you like to be the warrior?
A hunter, an archer? Will you be stealthy? Will you be powerful? Will you have the gift of the gab? And I'm like, I don't know. I like them all. Ideally, I'd like them
picks
all.
gift of the gab, honestly? Who's ever picking speech?
I know, yeah.
Genuinely,
Speech
me?
craft.
Yeah, you get loads of discounts at the shops when you pick a speech, and
Did you say shops? Because, Ash, I don't like shops, because what am I going to spend my money on? Honestly, I'm serious. I go to a shop in any game and I'm like, Elden Ring at the moment. I go in, that's an interesting weapon, I don't know, but I don't know. And this happens to me all the time with everything, because I have this problem of feeling like there is a right way and I must find the right way. I quite like it when I play a game where I know there is no right way and I can kind of convince myself it's my story. I can't predict the outcome. Something like Detroit Become Human, where I don't know, I guess there are good endings. There are good endings. There are more just several endings, and some will be good, some will be bad, some will be a mixture of both. And I can deal with that a little bit better. I like that it's just, you just only forwards. You make a decision, you go on, and you just have to live with it. Honestly, like most games, making a decision about my character, I've said before how much I hate character creation. That's a massive decision. Like, what am I gonna look like for the whole game? What's my name gonna be for the whole game? What hair color am I gonna have for the whole game? It's just all massive things, and I'm just like, just make the decisions for me. I just want to
randomize
my story. You say to some people that this game's got character creation, and they are just like, tell me everything. How detailed? How much can I define my character? I must know. The hair follicles. Can I move hair follicles? What color are my eyelashes? You know, and I'm just like, you just tell me. You just make a nice character for me to play as. I'm very happy with that. So yes, the fear of making the wrong decision is something I live with every day.
You do know you can reassign all your points in Elden Ring and change your look and name at any time.
Imagine how much worse that would make it.
I know.
If he has to take them all the decisions he's laboured over, he undoes them all and he has to make them all again.
Also, it's not any time, is it? You have to defeat that boss, and then you have to find a particular bit of something or other. That's for stats.
Yeah, you do have to be reborn.
You have to be reborn, and it doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you, you know, outright that that's what you're doing. It's just like, would you like to be reborn? And I'm like, I don't know. Is this a trick?
It's another decision.
Another decision. What does it mean?
I'm quite scared of the open ocean.
Haven't you been scuba diving?
Yeah. Like I look, like I this is a thing. It's not so much the ocean; it's things in it, if that makes sense. It's like, and man-made objects. There's a few games that have encapsulated this, but none more than Subnautica, because it's literally, when you start up the game, there's this massive spaceship that is in the middle of an ocean planet that's just pumping out radiation and kind of sickness into the water, and you've got to find all the bits and pieces that have fallen into the ocean to build yourself equipment to kind of get to safety and sort yourself out again. And Subnautica is a fantastic game, and one that I've enjoyed playing. Rob, we played it on a stream.
We did.
And I really, really enjoyed playing it. Like, I like it, and I love the concept of the ocean. I think, like, the ocean and space are two of my favourite things for mythos
mystery, but I love the organic mystery of the ocean and the organic mystery of space. I do not love the mystery of someone being there and building a load of things and then leaving them there to rot and go rusty. Like, that makes me feel awful. It's literally when you see the spaceship. I remember I swam up to it because I thought, right, I must be able to get on this ship and do some exploring, and that's when you find out there's radiation. But I was kind of testing myself, and I was like, I'll see what's going on. Go and have a look at it. And as you get closer and closer and closer, the ship is like unfathomably big. This rotting hull of like human knowledge that has gone on, and you're just this tiny little thing next to it, and it was really overwhelming. But where this is kind of born from is my own experience, not scuba diving, but snorkeling. Magnetic Island in Australia, which is famous for shipwrecks. So there's more than 20 around the island. I decided, oh, that's so cool. I've done a little bit of scuba diving whilst I've been here. The Great Barrier Reef is beautiful. I'd love to go and see a shipwreck. So I got myself ready, went out on my own, which was stupid to begin with.
In the water in Australia?
Yeah.
With the sharks?
Stupid. It was well, it's like a little island that I didn't think very straight. But I'd been there to scope it out the other day with some friends. And as I'm going in and walking these miles, I'm like, right, I'm going to do it. There's a little shipwreck path you can take, which has buoys that lead you all down it. And I was walking and walking and walking and walking. I feel like you could probably see the parallels with Subnautica with this already, like with like, you know, a little buoys, little ocean thing that you've got to kind of go into. But the water was getting higher and higher and higher. And as it was getting higher, I realized like that I couldn't see into it. It wasn't like Subnautica where you dive down and there's this beautiful ocean that opens up before you where you can go and explore. It was silty and dusty and dirty, absolutely just cloudy muck. And I knew I had to go through it to get to the buoy. As an anxious person anyway, I was like, I can feel it in me, I can feel my stomach doing the knot thing, but I was like, it'll be so cool, it'll be worth it. So I swim out and I find the first buoy, and as I find the first buoy, I can see into the water the chains going down, and it just disappears after a few links. And I looked at that and thought, And then I did the next 5, and at each one I was like, and it was about 20 minutes of swimming until I see the actual last buoy, which is where the shipwreck should be. And I put my face in the water, and I can just see like my legs just about kicking underneath and nothing else. I was really frustrated. I was like, I've swum all this way, I've gotten over loads of fear to get here, I've gotten past all these buoys, I'm here, I want to see the shipwreck. So I was there for ages, like just put my face in the water, swimming around.
No.
And
You're gonna dive, aren't you?
I put my face, I didn't dive, but I put my face in for the last time. I was like, I'm gonna hold my breath and I'm gonna look for as long as possible and just stare and see if anything comes out. So I proper lay down, proper put my face in. And as I did it, I realised I was above the shipwreck, which is why I couldn't see it, because I was kind of looking out either way. And I was right above it, and all I could see was the top of a mast pointing up a couple of metres below my feet, like just this point of a stick. And it was gigantic, it was massive. And I just had a panic attack, like instant, like wasn't even like it built up. I was like, because it's so scary, it's so scary. And I feel like Subnautica was that experience all over again. And I haven't gone back and finished it because I know that there's stuff out there. We saw the Leviathans and the massive beasts, which I think are interesting and cool, but also incredibly scary because they match that gigantic nature of it. I cried so hard that I filled up my goggles with tears.
When you were 20 minutes away from land.
Yeah, I got back in 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I got back I literally powered, because I'd like done it leisurely and gone by the boys. It was like to get back and then lay on the shore going. And there's penguins in Australia, that like warm ones for some reason.
Yeah.
And they were on the pier. So
Warm ones.
Yeah. So I went and sat with the penguins and had a look around with the penguins, which was nice.
Another time I faced my fear, again, I was forced to. I had to do this. I'm learning that if I'm afraid of something and I give up, I'll never go back to it unless I'm forcibly dragged through it with other people. And this was quite a big one for me. This was playing Bloodborne after 6 years of never going back to Bloodborne. It's the same thing that I've done with Demon Souls. Like, I'm still at the Tower Knight. I've been at the Tower Knight since a week after Demon Souls came out on PS5.
God.
I was like, yeah, maybe every month or so I'll be like, not even every month, maybe every 3 months. I'm like, shall I give it another go? Yes, have another go. Dead. Off.
How long does that go last?
Well, it lasts until the Tower Knight kills me.
Right, the one death and you're out.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Bloodborne, I got stuck in Old Yarnum, which, Rob, turns out to be an optional area. I didn't know.
Is it? I didn't know that either.
Optional,
You
apparently.
can choose to not go.
Apparently
Not
so.
if you want the
That's
platinum,
what all the
Rob.
comments were saying.
I'm sure if you want the platinum.
Rob, idiot. But anyway, there's the machine gun guy, Jura, his name is. I've learned that as well from the YouTube comments. God, I'm such an idiot. What a fool. Jura, the machine gun guy, never actually killed me. I've just beaten Father Gascoigne. I was like, oh, thank God. And immediately just whenever I step beyond a certain point in Old Yarnum, I was like, I just can't be doing with this. And I turned Bloodborne off, and it was that thing where I just didn't turn it on for a week, and then that week became a month, and that month became a year, and then that year became 6 years. And then we decided we'd do a Let's Play, and I was only able to do it really because I had help, lots of help from Rosie and Nathan initially, and then you, Dave, and then Ash, and everyone just helped me and dragged me through that game, kicking and screaming. I've got the platinum now. It doesn't feel right. It feels a bit dirty still, but I've got that.
You did it
The
all.
co-op's in the game.
It's all there.
No, but for the majority of those trophies that are like, you've beaten this boss, for so many of the bosses, I literally just stood in the corner and watched Rosie just and you, Ash, just wailing away. The final fight against the Moon Presence ended with me trying to use a blood vial that I didn't have. So my hunter's there looking in his pocket. Like, we're doing that kind of animation.
I hate that
Like,
animation.
Whilst
news.
Ash and Rosie like, yes! The Moon Presence died, and it was like, well done, you finished the game. So I don't think I deserve the Platinum Trophy really, but I have got it, and I did go through the game, and I did face my fear, and I don't think it was a fear of Bloodborne, it's more like a fear of failure that I have. Because I was actually doing okay in Bloodborne, like I was getting through it. I'd beaten Father Gascoigne, and I'd taken like 8 or 9 goes to beat him, which for me is unusual. If I've lost to something twice or 3 times, usually that's it. I'm never going to do that thing again. But I persevered with Father Gascoigne, and I did it. I was methodically going through the game very slowly, very carefully, pulling one enemy at a time, very carefully killing them, and I just built up too much sort of anxiety, I guess, about what horrible boss could be around the next corner. And so this machine gun guy just felt like sort of the perfect place to give up. I'll just sit here, like I've not actually died to him, I just haven't played the game past this point. But I was glad in the end that I was forced to face that fear.
And you got to launch him off the edge of a building.
Well, I didn't do that either, Rosie did it.
Did she?
Yeah, Rosie did it. I did then capture that bit again for a video that I made, and I did go back and knock him off the edge of the building, which is very satisfying. Jura sort of represented my fear of failure in Bloodborne, and it was nice to get rid of him and then go on and play the rest of the game, because what a wonderful game it is. Quite proud of myself for facing that fear, and I'm also glad that it's done, and that the DLC's done, and that game's done, and I never have to play that game again.
We've got to make you do
Bloodborne.
Demon Souls now.
I would have this anyway, but being on this channel, it compounds it tenfold, and that is the fear of losing. And I think you might all agree with me, you know, I think we're all competitive people.
I'm not competitive.
I'm not sure, Rob, but you are.
I'm definitely
You
not competitive.
are-
I'm a bad loser,
Okay.
but I'll give up any.
You're a bad winner, let me tell you. But I do think that we are all more competitive on the channel than maybe we would. I certainly am. Like
I'm less competitive on the channel than I am in real life.
Are you?
That's
God.
a scary thought.
Yeah. Well, I hope we never
I think we can all
experience
agree,
that.
because she's not here, that Rosie is the most competitive.
100%.
39-14!
I think there's something quite different to being sat by yourself in your living room, shouting at an unknown stranger in the other Rocket League car because they've scored a good goal. You know, they can't hear you. Maybe I spam nice shot or something over and over again, and I'm sort of angry, and that's about it. There's that in your own time, and then there's doing it on a live stream with people where people are giving you live feedback about your performance and who they want to win and why it's not you.
You've put that so diplomatically. It's
I
amazing.
find that I have a big fear of losing. I don't know if it's the fear of losing or the desire to win, or both. I think it's worse. I think it's both. It's that I both really fear losing and I really want to win. I mean, some of my worst moments on the channel personally are, you know, where my fear of losing has got the better of me. Obviously, one-on-one Z is a big one. Sometimes I'm so afraid of losing that if I win, I forget to be magnanimous. I don't think it's a very good character trait. I'd much rather just not care. Wouldn't that be amazing to just not care and be happy for the other person if they win instead? That would be nice. I've never been particularly sporty. Video games I can do. I can do video games to a degree. I can do them at least as well as all the other people, the average people out there. And it turns out that I both really like it but really hate it. In fact, recently Nath has been trying to goad me and us into taking him on at Returnal Ascension. He set a high score in the tower and he's like, come on.
I'm enjoying just the silence.
No, I'm just not interested. I've nothing to prove. I've already defeated Nath several times, and you know, the majority of times that we've faced each other. I don't need another high score thing in my life that will just take all of my energy and will turn into a big sad ball when I inevitably lose. Maybe I am capable of turning my back on that fear, I don't know, in the right circumstances.
I think you just don't engage. That's you not having to face it, is just not engaging at all.
I suppose I also, with Nath particularly, have decided that I've won. I can just keep wheeling that out. I go, well, I've won though, so I don't need to do it anymore. But yes, the fear of losing, it's a daily struggle, and I do think it makes me a bad person sometimes.
I can't believe you're saying all this whilst you're the reigning champion of Winner Plays On 3 times in a row and yet to face Rosie still, so potentially 4 if you beat Rosie as well. Like, is this you saying, you can't will for me to lose at my streak?
No, I'm not saying that I should be willed to win. I'm just saying that I'm so afraid of losing that it drives me to be...
drives you to superhuman winning is what it does.
I don't know about superhuman winning, but I certainly think that it just takes over my body, my whole everything. I'm sat there vibrating and like holding my breath. I can feel my heart beating out of my chest because I just have to win. I really want to win. And if I don't win, I don't know, nothing bad happens really, but I'll feel sad, Ash. I'll feel sad. So obviously, yeah, Winner Plays On. Why have I agreed to do that? It's terrible for my health.
I had like really bad arachnophobia for a while, like was scared of spiders for years. Like seeing them would just make me retch. Like looking at them and be like, because I
spider. Can you imagine? It's a nice wall. Someone go,
Genuinely, when I moved out of my house and I'd ring up my mom and be like, Mom, there's a spider, I don't know what to do. I'd be crying, going, and she'd be like, is there a spider? Is there a spider? I'd be like, yes.
Lovely, Ash. Lovely. Let us know about your own tales of gaming bravery in the comments. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell if you haven't already to make sure you're always up to date with everything from the world of PlayStation. Thanks for watching.